Let me stop a minute. You're probably asking yourself, Brian, why do I even need to do RTM? I'm doing great. I have my therapists my therapists are fully booked. My patients are getting a great experience. We're having great outcomes already. Brian Gallagher here again from Meg Academy to talk to you about you should do what you do best and you should outsource the rest. This is part 2 of that 6-part series. And in part 2, we're going to talk about remote therapeutic monitoring codes. Remote therapeutic monitoring codes, I'm just going to call it RTM. RTM is, I guess, new. You would think about it as PTs. I mean, it was all over PPS, and I think you've been reading a lot about it, and there's been a lot of legislative changes, and there's new codes and everything like that. So I'll let you look up all the details going into it and the behind the scenes. What we needed to do here at Meg Academy, because our main goal is to advance the profession of physical therapy and to see as many people in the profession of physical therapy live the ideal scene, live the life that they've always envisioned for themselves. Now, some people are very happy being staff employees and working through and becoming very professional clinicians with a high degree of expertise in their clinical skills, which is fabuloso. I think that's great, and we're really happy to see that, and we want to advance that as much as possible. And then there's those of us who just feel a little bit blissfully discontent, and we want to go into our own private practice because we want to no longer have people tell us when to come to work and when to go home and when to take a vacation, when I can eat lunch, when, where I need to be and what I need to do. I want to actually create my own ideal scene. I want to have the ideal patient care experience. I want to have the ideal company culture for all the people around me, winning both personally and professionally. And I want to give back to my community by building a brand that people can know, like, and trust. If that's you, then you're my public. That's who I'm talking to. Somebody who wants to either start that, or you're in it, or you got 500 clinics doing it and you want to create a better structure. In doing so, we need to look at the clinical aspect of running this practice, because as we all know, reimbursement's going down. There's only so many bricks a bricklayer can lay. I'm not a big fan of 3 patients an hour, 4 patients an hour. Not a fan of that. I am a fan of giving the highest quality care, giving an abundance of care with each and every session, and seeing as many people in our community achieve optimal health. I think those are the only 2 reasons why we went to PT school. So in keeping with that, we need to reach deeper. We need to reach further into the patient experience. And I think RTM is the way to do it. I think it's going to enhance your bottom line. I think it's going to increase your communication with your patients. I think it's going to build a greater degree of rapport. And I think it's going to have greater outcomes. I think statistics pan that out, that when people follow through with their home exercise routine and they are actually being coached while doing so, there's some degree of, accountability that goes into it, then you're going to get greater results and you're going to get greater participation, and people are going to be cared for. This is what I think about it. I think people are going to feel cared for as a person. They're not just a diagnosis. They're not just a knee or hip or shoulder. They're like, wow, this person really put this system in place to extend their care outside the 4 walls of their clinic. I hope you see that. I have done a lot of research. My team and I have spoken to multiple groups. We've visited with lots of people, and we tried to find an organization that could take this off the plate of the physical therapist private practice owner. You could build this internally in your clinic, and you could have a separate person who's running this and calling all your patients and whatnot. I'm sure you can. But in my mind, this is another one of those things that should be outsourced so you can get back to doing the best business you can, giving the best care you can within your 4 walls for the best patient care experience. When you outsource billing, it's because they're professionals in billing. They're going to do a better job than you trying to coach and oversee somebody you just hired in your backyard out of your zip code. You're going to outsource virtual front desk because you've got to stop the revolving front door, the drama, the overhead, the overworked, complaint going on there. We really need to specialize. I think this is a specialty too. I think putting this in the hands of the specialist is what's going to enable you to have the most ideal experience, both for your staff, because it's not like one more thing you're asking them to do for their salary or for their pay for performance, which I hope you have all of your clinicians on a pay for performance model, not a shared risk model. I'm not a fan of that, but I hope you have them all on a pay for performance model. So we've literally here at Meg, we vet out a lot of groups, and we kind of align ourselves with people that share the same philosophy of doing better for you than looking to do better for themselves. What do I mean by that? I think when we won Practice of the Year in 2011, we received a lot of feedback in our success stories and in our testimonials from our patients in our community that they never felt like we were a business in the business of doing business. What they meant by that was we were always in the business of advancing their experience, contributing to their success, in the business of enabling, giving more in abundance, giving more in exchange than you ever expected back in return, giving more value than you ever demanded in return. So many people are in the business of selling their business, doing business, doing sales, like running revenue up. Don't run your private practice like that. Find people you can partner with, you have business associate relationships with that share that same philosophy of lifting the community, one individual at a time, lifting them, letting them know that, wow, you're really not about the money. You really are all about the outcome. And that's what brought us to Limber Health. So I'm going to just share with you some of the bullet points here on Limber Health, and I'm going to invite you to just go to their website. I think it's definitely worth a look, right? And I'm not, I can't steer anybody to any one thing or another, but I can share with you in my 30 years of doing this, I've done a lot of vetting and we've done a lot of review, and this is where we landed. This is just who we landed on. So it's worth a look, right? Limber Health is really the forefront or the what do you say, the forefathers or the founders, if you will. They're the ones that actually push forth to get these CPT codes in. They did the work, they did the studies, they did the research. I've met with them multiple times. It's been quite a journey for these guys. Now there's other people that are now using this and you can provide services with, but I would go here, take a look. So without any further delay, look at the final Medicare fee schedule for these RTM codes. On the website, you're going to see just, code 98975. I'm just reading for you here because I need you to get this data. If you send a patient home, you're going to need to set them up on an RTM program and initiate this patient education. And per episode, that's going to be $19.32 per episode to do that. Once you start doing that, you're going to have, set up device transfer, data transmission. You can bill that once every 30 days. That's going to be $50.15. Once every 30 days, and that's code 98977. So I'm not going to read to you all these things, but it's so transparent. That's what I love. Transparency breeds trust. Limber Health is so transparent. It's all right here on their website. You could learn all of it here from their website. And I'm going to read to you some of these bullet points because I was going to make notes on our experience to share with you. But man, as I read this, it's right on their website. It's exactly what I feel, and it's exactly what our clients are experiencing and working with them. Let me stop a minute. You're probably asking yourself, Brian, why do I even need to do RTM? I'm doing great. I have my therapists my therapists are fully booked. My patients are getting a great experience. We're having great outcomes already. Why would I need to do this? Well, A, for greater patient outcomes, because you're going to extend further into their experience of trying to get back to achieving optimum health. Remember, our goal isn't to take a person who is at their premorbid level, who got injured, bring them back to their premorbid state. Our goal as physical therapists is to take somebody from their current normal, they got injured or suffered whatever they suffered, we treated them, and then we pushed them on, we pushed them further to an outcome of optimum health, of actually existing in a better state of being, a better state of function than they were before they even met us. So that's important. So with Limber Health, let me just hit these bullet points and we'll wrap this up because I think this is giving you enough information and direction as to why it should pique your curiosity to want to bring in on average somewhere between, $6,000 to $8,000 more into your practice on an annual basis by adding a service that's going to better help your patients. And that's what this RTM service is through, like I said, Limber Health from our experience. There's no upfront cost. It's definitely going to improve your financial performance because it's going to give you more revenue because they're literally doing the work. You're just partnering with them. They're taking over this and they're collaborating and coordinating with your staff back. There's no additional workload, heavy lifting, or burden on your staff. Literally, they're taking that off your plate, which is why this is a series of outsourcing, right? We want to outsource this. They're going to increase the communication with your patients. There's going to be this greater bond with your patients, which definitely extends the network of care to their family, friends, and peers, right? Co-workers potentially. Tracks outcomes. I love this. Limber Health is going to do all the admin for you. They're going to track the outcomes and you're going to get better outcomes from actually providing more care, right? More care, more services. Hopefully intent should be to achieve greater outcomes. You're going to have them meeting the patients in their home, working with them in their own environment, exercising with their favorite chair or their favorite band or in their favorite place at home. They don't need to go to a gym. And here's the thing that I thought of right away when I was being introduced to RTM. I'm like, patient compliance. Patient compliance. Man, if I could increase my patient compliance just by, 5%, 10%, 50%, what better outcomes my practice would have with our patients? What better reputation would I be building within my community? What better opinion or viewpoint of my brand will I be achieving with my medical professionals as well as my raw public? That's what RTM is all about. Remote Therapeutic Monitoring, caring enough to go into the home of your patients and caring for them there. That's what you should be thinking about. In my opinion, moving forward in 2023, you have to bring everything to the table, everybody. It is a tough world out there. We have to outsource, reduce our payroll, increase our margins so that we can live a more successful life, ensuring that our patients are winning, our staff is winning, our practice is winning, and our community is winning. I think this helps you reach even further to do that. So that's it. Let's go on to part 3 in our 3-part series of You Do What You Do Best, and let's outsource the rest.